The soft light from the crystal chandeliers illuminated the elegant New York restaurant, where Eric Evans, with his impeccable apron and captivating smile, served the customers. Eric, known for turning an ordinary meal into a memorable experience, moved gracefully among the tables with an almost choreographed grace. That night, he was assigned to serve the most challenging table in the restaurant, that of the infamous Greg Harrison, a real estate magnate known for both his wealth and his difficult temperament. Eric approached the table with confidence, offering a warm smile. "Good evening, Mr. Harrison. It's a pleasure to welcome you again. May I suggest one of our excellent wines to start your meal?" Eric asked politely. Greg, looking over the menu with a critical eye, responded disdainfully, "I hope the service tonight is at least tolerable. On my last visit, it was lamentable." Eric kept his composure. "We will do our best to exceed your expectations, Mr. Harrison." As the night progressed, Greg's demands increased. Every order was followed by a harsh critique or a sarcastic comment. Finally, irritated by a minor delay in service, Greg raised his voice to get the attention of the entire restaurant. "This is the worst service I've ever received. How dare you make me wait?" The manager, drawn by the commotion, approached quickly. Before Eric could explain, Greg shouted, "This incompetent is ruining my evening. I demand that he be fired immediately." The manager, taken by surprise and under the watchful eyes of other customers, made a hasty decision. "Eric, I'm sorry, but you're fired. Please leave the restaurant now." Eric, with a shocked pale face, could only murmur a "but-I" before being interrupted. "No arguments. Go now," insisted the manager, with an apologetic look that did little to soften the injustice. Devastated, Eric withdrew from the dining room under the curious gazes and whispers of the customers, feeling the loss not only of his job but also of his dignity. After being abruptly fired, Eric Evans found himself wandering the bustling streets of New York, a stark contrast to the tranquility of the countryside he came from. With each step, the harsh reality of his situation became more palpable. His pockets, as empty as his heart at that moment, reflected the uncertainty and fear that now consumed him. The savings he had painstakingly accumulated during his time as a waiter disappeared almost as quickly as his luck. Walking aimlessly, Eric reminisced about his life in the countryside, where he had grown up with his parents before losing them both in a tragic accident. It was this loss that had driven him to seek a fresh start in the big city, far away from the memories of a home that no longer existed. In New York, Eric had sought to pursue his passion for cooking, the only legacy left by his mother, a skilled cook who had taught him the secrets of the kitchen from a young age. Working as a waiter in an elegant restaurant seemed like a step in the right direction, a means of being close to the culinary world he so admired. Eric, sitting on a park bench, watched people pass by, each absorbed in their own lives and problems. He sighed, speaking to himself, "Here I am in the city that never sleeps, and all I wanted was a chance to show what I can do in the kitchen. Mom, Dad, I hope you're proud, despite everything." The memory of his parents strengthened his determination. "I can't give up now. They wouldn't want to see me like this," Eric murmured, rising from the bench. His love for cooking, the connection to his parents' legacy, was the beacon he needed to navigate the darkness of his current adversity. With his eyes now fixed on an uncertain future, but guided by the passion that had always burned within him, Eric began to plan his next steps. It was time to turn his passion for cooking into something more, something that could rebuild his life, piece by piece, in the vast and unforgiving New York City. On a gray afternoon, while wandering the streets in search of opportunities, Eric stopped in front of a construction site. Watching the workers, he felt a spark of determination ignite within him. Taking a deep breath, he approached the site supervisor, a stern-looking man named Tom. "Excuse me for bothering you, sir. I'm looking for work, anything you might have." "I'm quick to learn, and I'm not afraid of hard work," Eric said with a mix of hope and hesitation. Tom, assessing Eric from head to toe, responded in a gruff voice, "It's not an easy job, kid. We start at sunrise and don't stop until the sun sets. Do you think you can handle it?" Eric, with a determination that surprised even himself, replied, "Yes, sir, I can handle it." And so began Eric's new life as a laborer. The work was tough, the hours long, and the pay modest. But every brick laid, every wall erected, not only strengthened the structures he helped build, but also his own resilience. On cold nights in his small, barely heated apartment, Eric allowed himself to dream. Under the dim glow of a lamp, he scribbled ideas and recipes in a worn-out notebook. Each page reflected his passion for cooking, a constant reminder that despite the adversities, his dreams were not lost. "One day, I will turn these recipes into something great," Eric muttered to himself, his voice blending with the distant hum of the city that never sleeps. It was this dream, this promise of a better future, that kept him steadfast, propelling him through tough days and lonely nights. Weekends in New York took on a new flavor when Eric Evans, armed with his love for cooking and a dash of audacity, decided to launch his own hot dog business. With a modest yet clean and well-organized cart, Eric parked his new venture on the bustling corner of a local park, a strategic spot to capture the attention of families, joggers, and passers-by. On the first day, business was slow. Eric adjusted his chef's hat as he watched people walk by, indifferent to his cart. But he didn't lose heart. "Good morning. Come try the most unique hot dog in New York," he called out with a smile, his voice rising above the city's hustle and bustle. Slowly, the curious began to approach, drawn by the inviting aroma and Eric's promises. "What's special about your hot dog?" asked a woman with a baby stroller. Eric, with a twinkle in his eye, replied, "It's a fusion of flavors you won't find anywhere else. I have classic recipes and some of my own creations, like the special hot dog with avocado sauce and the classic with a hint of chipotle pepper." Intrigued, the woman ordered one of each with her first by her eyes lit up. "This is amazing," she exclaimed. "I need to bring my husband here tomorrow." And so the word about Eric's innovative hot dogs began to spread. Each satisfied customer became an ambassador for Eric's cart, telling friends and family about the extraordinary hot dog vendor in the park. In the following weekends, the line in front of Eric's cart grew longer and longer. People from all corners of the city came to sample his culinary delights. Eric, always with a welcoming smile, prepared each hot dog with meticulous attention, ensuring that every customer had a memorable experience. Over time, the small cart became a popular gathering spot, a place where Eric's traditional and experimental flavors brought people together in a moment of pure gastronomic satisfaction. Word of mouth became Eric's greatest advertising, and his dream of bringing joy through food was becoming a sweet reality. On a sunny Saturday afternoon, as Eric Evans' hot dog cart buzzed with the usual bustle of hungry customers, a distinguished-looking man in an elegant suit approached. He observed the activity around the cart with an analytical gaze, patiently waiting his turn in line. Eric, ever attentive, noticed the presence of the stranger and prepared to serve him with the same courtesy he extended to all his customers. "Hello, I'm Stephen Stokes," the man said, extending his hand as his turn arrived. "I've heard a lot about your hot dogs and had to come check them out for myself." Eric, a bit surprised but maintaining his professionalism, replied, "It's a pleasure, Mr. Stokes. What can I prepare for you today?" While savoring one of Eric's famous hot dogs, Stephen revealed his true purpose. "Mr. Evans, your talent in cooking is exceptional. These flavors, they're unique. I believe you're ready to take a step further." Eric, intrigued, asked, "What do you mean, Mr. Stokes?" Stephen, with a serious yet encouraging look, explained, "Your recipe has tremendous potential. Have you ever thought about patenting this culinary marvel? And moreover, instead of limiting yourself to a cart, why not expand to a physical storefront? I'm an investor, and I'm willing to partner with you to turn this idea into reality." Eric, somewhat stunned by the proposal, responded, "I never imagined my little cart could go this far. Having my own store, it's a dream. But a partnership, that's something big." Stephen nodded. "It's a significant decision, I understand, but think about the potential. With the right investment and your creativity in the kitchen, we could create something truly special. Eric looked around, observing the satisfied faces of his customers. The idea of expanding his business and reaching even more people with his culinary creations began to take root in his mind. Stephen's proposal was an opportunity that could transform his small cart into a culinary empire. "I'll carefully consider your proposal, Mr. Stokes." "It sounds like an incredible opportunity," Eric said, a mix of anxiety and excitement in his voice. With a firm handshake, Stephen smiled. "Great. I look forward to seeing what you decide. I believe that together we can achieve something grand." And so, with this unexpected conversation, the seeds of Eric Evans' future culinary empire were planted, ready to bloom and change his life forever. Over the years, Eric Evans' entrepreneurial vision, fueled by his partnership with Stephen Stokes, transformed a humble hot dog cart into a national phenomenon. Eric's Delight Dogs, the brand that had started on the streets of New York, now boasted branches all across the country, each one a testament to Eric's extraordinary success. On a celebratory night, marking the opening of the 100th branch, Eric, dressed elegantly, addressed an audience of investors, employees, and admirers. The glow of the lights reflected on his face, now marked with the confidence of an accomplished entrepreneur. "When I started with a simple hot dog cart, I never imagined I would come this far," Eric began, his voice laden with emotion. "Every hot dog I sold, every smile I received in return brought me here. This is not just the story of a man and his cart. It is a story of perseverance, innovation, and above all believing in your dreams." Stephen, standing beside Eric, added, "Watching Eric turn his passion and creativity into a culinary empire is a journey that deeply fills me with pride. Eric's Delight Dogs is not just a brand, it's a symbol of how passion and hard work can create something truly extraordinary." Eric, looking out at the crowd, continued, "Every branch we open is a commitment to quality and innovation. No matter where we are, our mission is always to provide a unique and delicious experience." Applause erupted in the room, echoing the sentiment of admiration and respect that Eric had earned. His eyes swept across the room, landing on smiling faces and inspired gazes. He knew that each franchise was more than just a sales point. It was a home for his passion. A place where customers could savor not only a hot dog, but also a story of success and inspiration. With a toast, Eric concluded, "To each of you who believed in me and my dream, my heartfelt thanks. Together, we've achieved something amazing, and I say with all certainty we still have much more ahead of us." The night continued with celebrations, but for Eric, every moment was a reminder of his journey, from that first day behind the cart to becoming one of the most respected names in the culinary industry. Eric's Delight Dogs was not just a business, it was the tangible symbol of the power of a dream and a man's determination to make it come true. 8 years after the incident that changed his life, Eric Evans found himself in one of his branches, overseeing a job interview for an attendant. The store was vibrant, with the typical energy of an Eric's Delight Dogs establishment. Eric, now a successful entrepreneur, watched the interviews attentively, seeking someone who shared the same passion and dedication he had put into his business. In the midst of the interviews, one candidate in particular caught his attention. The man seemed familiar, but carried a tired look and a humble demeanor that contrasted with the image etched in Eric's memory. When the man raised his head, Eric immediately recognized who he was: Greg Harrison, the customer who had humiliated him and caused his dismissal years ago. Greg, noticing Eric's surprise, began timidly, "Mr. Evans, I didn't expect to find you here. Maybe I should leave." Eric, still processing the surprise, asked him to stay. "No, please tell me your story. What brings you here?" With a choked voice, Greg shared his journey of downfall and redemption. "After that night at the restaurant, my life fell apart. My arrogance and conceit led me to make bad decisions, and I lost almost everything. I spent years trying to rebuild myself, learning the hard lesson of humility." Eric listened attentively, sensing the sincerity in Greg's words. "And why do you want to work here, Greg?" With a sigh, Greg replied, "I need a chance to start over, to do things right." I know I wronged you, and that's why, first and foremost, I want to apologize. I don't expect you to hire me, but I needed to say that." As Greg Harrison, head down and shoulders slumped, slowly walked toward the exit, something stirred within Eric Evans. Greg's story, marked by regret and humility, resonated deeply with him. Eric, recalling his own journey of challenges and resilience, felt a wave of compassion for the man who had once humiliated him. Quickly, Eric stood up and called out, "Greg, wait a moment, please." Greg, surprised, turned around, a look of uncertainty on his face. Eric approached with a serious yet gentle expression. "Greg, your story has touched me. We all make mistakes, and I believe in redemption. I'm going to offer you the job." Greg, incredulous, stammered, You're serious? After everything I've done?" Eric nodded firmly. "Yes, I am. It's not an act of revenge. It's a chance to start anew for both of us. I've learned a lot about life in the past few years. I've come to understand that humility is a valuable lesson, and everyone deserves a second chance." Greg, with tears in his eyes, extended his hand, almost unable to believe Eric's generosity. I don't know what to say. This means more than you can imagine. Thank you, Eric. I promise I won't let you down." Eric shook Greg's hand with an encouraging smile. "I'm not looking for perfection, Greg, just genuine effort to improve and grow." Welcome to the team. In that moment, a true human connection was established between the two men. For Eric, it was a confirmation that compassion and forgiveness are the foundations for a better world. For Greg, it was rekindled hope, a fresh start marked by kindness and opportunity. This unexpected encounter between Eric and Greg wasn't just the closure of a cycle of events, but the beginning of a transformative journey for both. Years had passed since Greg Harrison had joined the Eric's Delight Dogs team. During that time, the store managed by Greg had flourished, becoming not only one of the busiest locations, but also the crown jewel of Eric Evans' franchise, the branch shone with a welcoming atmosphere and efficiency, a testament to Greg's hard work and dedication. On a quiet afternoon, Eric visited Greg's store for a routine inspection. When they met, the two greeted each other warmly, more like longtime friends than employer and employee. "Greg, it's amazing to see what you've done with this place," Eric said, looking around in admiration. "Remember when you started here? Feels like it was just yesterday." Greg, with a satisfied smile, replied, "Yes, I remember it like it was yesterday. I can hardly believe the journey we've been on, from adversaries to friends and colleagues. It's surprising how life takes twists and turns, isn't it?" Eric nodded, reflecting on the strange turn of fate. "True, Greg. Life has a funny way of teaching us the most important lessons. You know, I've learned a lot about forgiveness and humility from you." Greg, with a thoughtful look, added, "And I've learned about resilience and the importance of second chances. I wouldn't have made it this far without your guidance and trust, Eric." The two men, now bonded by a friendship forged in the fires of shared experiences, laughed together, reminiscing about the challenges and achievements along the way. Who would have thought, Greg? From a disastrous encounter to a successful partnership. I guess that shows we should never underestimate the power of a second chance, Eric said, smiling. Greg agreed. Yes, and never judge a book by its cover. You gave me an opportunity when no one else would, and it changed my life. I'm forever grateful, my friend. First, it was clear that the store was more than just a business for both of them. It was a symbol of transformation and growth. Eric and Greg's story, from conflict to collaboration, had become an inspiration for everyone in the franchise, a constant reminder of the power of forgiveness, resilience, and humility.